Hello guys, this is Wonderbit Trading and we carry on with our weekly Bitcoin and Ethereum price analysis. Let's go straight into our charts. As usual, you can see in front of you 4 different charts which are all related to Bitcoin. The one on the top left is the BTC futures, the one on top right is the BTC dominance, and the 2 at the bottom are different price charts of Bitcoin against dollar from different exchanges, Bitstamp and Binance. So, the overall picture, once again, let's just put all our analysis and drawings aside and we'll start from the weekly time frame. So you can definitely see that the previous week had close slightly above the close of the previous week. So it's around 6% gain over here. And at the same time, the most important factor is that we closed above the 200 moving average. So you can definitely see this on the Bitstamp exchange. So this is quite a positive and actually good sign. Taking into the accounts the rest, the futures, obviously this gap which happened 2 weeks ago from now, we can completely forget about it for the time being. It would be completely irrelevant whether the price is going to go up and we're going to close it. It doesn't have any statistical influence. But at the same time, what's important here on the macro level is we actually trading in the area of the previous huge triangle of 2018. So this is the triangle that we had in 2018, and we're right at the bottom of that triangle. We actually broke below it, and now we're testing this bottom, I would say as a resistance. It looks more like a resistance rather than the new support level. So we didn't go above it, we're staying slightly below it, so we're testing it as a resistance. And on the macro level, it will mean that if this resistance will hold, we will be either facing the further move down or we will start our accumulation phase. Putting all our drawings back, we'll start from the BTC futures, and let's open this chart in large details. So previously we were discussing that we'll recheck the 200 MA as a resistance and we'll go down. Obviously we didn't expect that huge drop which occurred on the BTC futures, but after that our prediction was that we're going to go sideways. So this is exactly the time where we should start our accumulation phase and go slightly to the side, like more horizontally, rather than we'll see the increase or decrease of the price. What we also expect before the final turnaround is the divergence on the RSI in comparison to the price. So we would be looking for the price to go further down, and then the RSI at the same time will form the higher low. As mentioned, we are trading right now in the area where the bottom of the previous triangle from 2018 was. So we're right in this area. However, it is also important to remember this downward trend. And if we carry on with this downward trend, this is exactly where we expect the price to hit us and to form this divergence. And this will be a good sign. So what are the potential options here? Number one is forming a double bottom and then reversing, at least for a short time being. Number two is that we're forming a proper divergence, so the price is going even further below the 4,300 level, while the RSI is forming the divergence with a good volume. Number three, we're just starting our accumulation phase, which can hold here for quite a while, and I would say around 60 days is something on average that the accumulation phase will look like. So over here the accumulation was 45 days. This one was actually quite a huge one. This was 130 days. We're quite stable here around 60 days. So at least a month for sure we're gonna stay in the accumulation. This is the third proposition. So let's look at the BTC dominance. Over here we can see that the BTC dominance was slightly increasing. However, the overall scenario is that we're still going down, so that's exactly what we're expecting. The slight increase here, we rechecked this level, so it's acting now as a resistance. 200 is coming down as a resistance as well, so we should expect the future decrease in the BTC dominance probably to the level of 62%. This will be a nice area to see the BTC dominance in. What does that mean? First of all, that means that if the Bitcoin is gonna increase, the altcoins are gonna increase much faster. Secondly, if the Bitcoin is gonna decrease, then the altcoins will decrease slower. However, this scenario is less likely. For me, it seems like that we're gonna stay put to some extent over here. We might see some explosiveness in several altcoins, not all of them, and maybe this huge increase in price will lead to the dominance of BTC to actually fall. So let's look at the Binance exchange over here. We are going right in accordance to our plan. So once again, we were talking about this in our previous video, that we didn't expect to see that increase and then the fall towards the area of accumulation, which we saw as an ascending triangle, but we're currently in it, and this is exactly the moment where we should see some accumulation. So the yellow line here at the bottom again is the bottom of the triangle of 2018. Here below it we can see this accumulation phase, which should accumulation zone, which should last for a couple of months, well, at least a month, and then afterwards we would be able to determine whether there are any fundamentals which will be playing in favor of the BTC growth. So what we can see on the 4-hour chart for the Bitcoin price on a short-term time frame is that the BTC is still in the downward trend. We can clearly see it on a downward move, forming the lower highs each time. The next important thing would be to see that this area is a nice area of volume, and this area can act as a support cloud over here. If so, the price will go here into the support cloud, accumulate for a bit, and then can easily jump back to the areas of 6,000 to 6,700, even to recheck once again the triangle, or even go to the next largest accumulation zone, which would be around 8,500. This is a very optimistic scenario. It's not likely to happen actually in the nearest future. Honestly, taking into the account the scenarios with the stock market, the global macroeconomic trends, it would be quite important to see the accumulation phase, to see the come down of the stock markets, and after that it would be much easier to justify whether the Bitcoin will go up further, or we still have to go down to find another bottom before the reversal. So let us now look at the Ethereum price. Previously we were discussing the idea that after that huge drop we need to see some accumulation, then the shakeout of the weak hands over here, so the price can quickly go down below the 100 up to $85, something like this, and this will be a very similar scenario to what we saw in February. So from the 26th of February till the 8th of March, we saw the zone of accumulation with a nice volume over here, the shakeout, and then we went down straight away. So now we're in a similar scenario, accumulating in the zone between the 110 and 130, and the shakeout at the end of the month to see whether the price can reverse and start its increase. On the 4-hour chart, it can be easily seen here, we are currently bouncing here and there around the 50 MA, so we cannot say that it's acting as a support or as a resistance, even the price was coming from the above. However, there is a strong possibility that the price will carry on its downward movement towards 110 at least, and then have a slight rebound back. So we still have another week till the end of April, and the price should accumulate around this area. So we should see the volumes accumulating in this area before the next big move. Well, that was it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay tuned with our weekly updates, and best of luck with your trading.